how did you become known as the winningest coach?
By winning. I'm a big believer in tradition, and there's a magic in believing, and I always try to teach that to my children, my players, and we did things together. We were a family, and it was very important, and all the things that never happened to me when I played here at the school, like on a Saturday morning when I was in school, you'd wake up and you had the game that afternoon and you were alone, you know, and finally maybe around 1 o'clock you go down and put your uniform on, run out on that field and I'm looking at and play a football game. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. And so what I did was, we had a tradition. We lived together, every one of my teams. Saturday morning we met at the school at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'd go to church together. I'd go with the Protestants, Catholic kids went alone. If we had any Jewish youngsters, they could go to the synagogue or they could join us. I did not have a big group of Jewish players that played, and so that was never really a problem. And we never had a problem about saying the prayer before the ball game, which we always did. So we'd go to church, and then early in the season, I would meet with the mothers, not the fathers, because I didn't want anybody to help me coach. I could do that. But I told the mothers, we'd have a mothers meeting, and I said, you know, when one of my children wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I pull the covers over my head, but my wife runs in there, and she's the one that bore the child. And you as mothers have a feeling you don't really care about winning and losing. What you care about is the well-being of your child. And so I want to tell you about what I try to do here and what we're going to do. And if a problem comes up, first of all, my door is always open that you can come see me. And when that meeting ended, the mothers would get together and I would give them the schedule for the year. And they would break down each Saturday, 1 or 2 or 3 of them would get together and cook the roast beef breakfast that we were going to have, and then we would meet at their house, at whatever place after church, and go there. And I made the big mistake of not wanting to bother the cheerleaders, so I got the JV cheerleaders to serve the breakfast. That happened only one Saturday. That was World War III before it happened, because the varsity said, "What are you doing? They're not even varsity, and you're letting them be the person to run around in their short skirts with the ball players." And so that's the way the freshman cheerleaders never. So the cheerleaders would serve the breakfast, and then after the breakfast, we'd come back to the school and polish our shoes and get ready for the game, play the game, and then many times we'd go to church together after the game. But we were a family, and anytime we had problems, my players always knew that my home was open. And on Friday nights before the game, they would come down to the house and go into my den, be running the film. They could bring their girlfriends down, and they'd watch the movies. And so we knew where they were. And then I'd say, you know, Margaret and I would go to bed and say, you know, make sure you close the refrigerator when you leave, you know, because there was always food in there for them to eat, unlike the poor coach that was born poor.